Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Casey, and today I'm going to bring you something just a little bit different than what I normally would do. Um, as of late, I was thinking about doing videos that, you guys can actually just listen to. You know what I mean? Let me just put it like this. I know that some of you guys actually don't watch the footage that's, for the video. And that's kind of cool because honestly, I don't really ever talk about it too awful much. I might post a game that's, something really cool. And, I say to some people sometimes that I just put it there so people can enjoy it. But I think about 90% of the people who actually watch the video, they probably tab out. And I'm not saying anything against that. I think that's pretty cool. And that just kind of shows that you guys are actually good listeners and that's what you want. I've had a lot of people tell me that I should not so much worry about what's on screen, but worry about what I'm actually saying, and I think that's an important thing. So today I'm gonna bring you something just a little bit different, and I want to see how this, I want to see how this does, and if you guys actually do want some gameplay, I'll throw another video up that has a completely different topic. But as for today, I'm gonna come up with this series. It's called My Name Is. Now, what this is just my series that I've come up with. It doesn't reflect what anyone else has right now on YouTube or whatever. And if it comes close, it's just coincidence. But really, I'm talking about topics that normal people, everyday human beings, go through and have to deal with. And whether it be between relationships, personal feelings, whether it be, just things that go on, whatever it may be. Um, I want to talk about it and kind of get over it, and stuff like that, because I want to say my channel is kind of a gaming channel. That's where my home and that's where my roots are, where I'm clawed in. And if it wasn't for gaming, I would be in a completely different place. But I think it's time for me to start like doing more. And what kind of brought this on was the other day I got a message from YouTube saying, we'd like to partner you. But I asked some people and I asked Machinima, and if you guys don't know, Machinima is the only one of out of 7 or 6 different companies on YouTube that can actually monetize ads. And what that means is basically when I have Call of Duty videos or Halo videos up, if I want to make like a little bit of money off of that, like a 0.03 cents to a full cent a view, however it may work, I could put ads on the video. And I could become partnership with YouTube or whatever, and there are some benefits to that. But because I'm not partnered with Machinima, I can't do that. And so I'm not even going to try and apply for that particular video, because even though it was listed as nonprofit and activism because of what the situation and what the topic was, and it was talking about gaming for sick kids. And if you guys haven't seen it or whatever, it's just I'll link it to my channel in the description. And I want to apologize if I sound a little bit out of breath. Today has not, let's just say, it's not been the best day for me. So that's that. But yeah, so today I'm going to bring you, like I said, something a little bit different. And I apologize for making you wait this long to say it. But I want to talk about the question of, I know some of you guys have heard someone say this to you, or maybe you've heard someone say it, or maybe you've said it to somebody. But the question of, are you good enough? And that could be for a specific role or job, or just in general, are you good enough to be who you are? Are you a good enough person for someone else? And I've been around a lot of people in my life, and certain situations, like say my mom with her previous boyfriend or whatever, that you hear that a lot sometimes. It's you're not good enough, whatever, you don't matter, you're not important. And I really despise that when people say that, because everyone on this planet is probably more valuable than we can ever realize. We are all meant for something better. We're all meant for something more than what we realize. And some of us, I suppose, will actually get the chance to figure out what we're actually meant for, figure out like our life's purpose, and kind of see how we've affected people. Now, there have been stories where, people in their families have actually got to see, like they saw what what actually happened, like when their father or their grandfather or their grandmother, they did something and it affected millions of people, and you got to hear that story, and man, it really, can change a person as far as their outlook. But sometimes everyday people like me, say me and you, might not get to see that. It's not like, say, it's not so common to have that happen. But that doesn't really change anything. I mean, I would like to think at the end of my life I'll be able to see, it would be nice to have like some kind of a flashback to see what all I've done, and just to see how I've affected people. Because I know I've done some things in my life that I'm definitely not proud of, and I've said some things that have hurt people, and I'm really ashamed of that. But I've also done a lot of good. I would like to say so. And maybe at points in my life I wasn't quite true to my word and I was doing things for the wrong reason, but even though I did it, it still helped some people. And since I've been doing videos on YouTube, I've got, so many messages and so many different health related or, sickness or anything, just some kind of related topic that goes along with what I talk about, stressed or family issues and stuff like that. And people, they're like, they tell me I'm doing a good job and they tell me to keep going. So I would like to think that based on those messages and the amount of response that I get back, to keep going. So I am. And it would just be kind of interesting to see, how many people have I actually affected, have heard my voice and changed something about them. I mean, it's kind of like if you go to a church, that preacher or whoever it may be, youth pastor, when they speak a message to you, it hopefully can get through and you can get something from it. And, something about what it is inside you may change for the better. And sometimes it doesn't happen, but I would say for the most part, it does. And I would like to think in my own little way I can help people kind of change their point of view on things. Because, we live in a really sad world. This place is it's going downhill really fast. And if you guys don't know that, I mean, just look outside. Think about how things were 100, 200, 300 years ago. We're in an age where everything that is popular is in. Everything that isn't is just out. And some of the things that, being helpful and being just having hope is out. Drama is the in. What's going on in the newspaper. It's not it's more about, oh, did you see what happened to this? And oh my gosh, destruction and mayhem. What do you see on the news? You see chaos, you see destruction, killings, murders. And then the whole time we're thinking about this, we have these questions roaming around that kids and young adults and even older adults have to ask themselves. And like I've said, there are numerous times that I've had encounters and engagements with people where, the question was asked, and people think to themselves, I'm not good enough, or whatever it may be. I've had so many friends, cry to me, and then they've told me, I can't believe this happened. It's just because I'm not good enough, or whatever it may be. And God hates me, and God doesn't want me to be happy. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it's not about God hating you, because God doesn't hate people. For one, you've got that all wrong. I'm just going to throw that out there. God loves every single one of you, and you might think that you might be the last one alive on this planet Earth, but there's still one person who loves you. Well, besides me, that is. But and you have to know that it doesn't really matter what people think. There's always going to be some person out there who wants to ruin your day. My mom was talking to me last night about a woman, and someone had commented on her boyfriend's status or whatever like that, and she said some really nasty things, and my mom was telling me about that. And I'm like, I don't want to hear about that. For one, I don't really care to get into like the business, or not the business, but the relationship drama, the relationship drama that goes along with, like, say, either MySpace, Facebook, or Yearbook. I don't really care about that stuff. I mean, to me, it's words on the internet. It doesn't really affect me. But to some people, it does. It does really affect them. And, just things. I don't know. People can say some pretty mean and nasty things, and if you let it get to you, that can really cause some problems. So, she was talking to me about that, and I kind of like was about to walk away, and she's like, "Wow, you're not even listening." I'm like, I don't want to hear about that, and it's crazy. I'm like, but Mom, you're greater than that. You don't need to listen to that. You don't need to worry about it because you're better than that. And I was also telling her today about what I was going to talk about in this video. And I told her, I'm going to talk about if you're good enough or not. I asked her, how many times have you ever been told that you weren't good enough? And she had just said, well, if you just said one person, you'd sum it all up. And so I kind of laughed at that. But yeah, it might just be one person. So you might have a million people tell you you're great and you're awesome, but there could be one person who could ruin your life and ruin your day just by saying, you're not even good, you're not even great, you're worthless. And I know that's true. Whenever my girlfriend tells me that I'm more than good enough for her, that makes me really, really, that makes me feel really special and stuff. But I've had times where I've heard situations like, because I have so many health problems and stuff. Someone actually said once that, why are you with him? He can't even do anything. He can't even give you a hug or hold you without hurting. And I'm gonna throw this out there. Yeah, there are times where I'm in such bad amounts of shape and I'm in pain that I can't even just take a drive to Seminole. Like today, it just was really bad on me. But it's stuff like that just it can really bring you down. And coming from me, it should mean a little bit of something, because if you guys don't know, of all the health problems that I have, it just keeps on getting worse and worse. Like last night was really bad. I didn't get to sleep till about 4 a.m. and I went to bed about 11 to 1, somewhere around that area. I know it's a wide time frame, but I didn't get to sleep because my legs were hurting, and I'm developing something called neuropathy in my leg. And I guess the doctors thought I had it a while back, and I was taking some Neurontin for it, but it didn't really bother me back then. But it bothers me really bad now, and it basically, my feet and my legs go really cold, and there's poor circulation, and it's just in my legs. And I don't know, man. It just really, really hurts and gets real numb, and it's not a good numb either. It's a painful, like, it feels like it's cramping almost, kind of numb. But I've got all these problems, and when someone says something like that to me, the only thing I can do is just be happy for what I have and be grateful, and just look for the better things in life, because there's a lot of things that could get you down, and words from someone else, that, I don't know, that's just one thing I'm not going to let get me down. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, words do hurt me. Words upset me, even if it doesn't even concern me, because, the other day I was kind of getting concerned, or whatever you want to call it, about a particular subject, and I'm not going to go over that subject. It's just kind of like, I was thinking about it, I'm like, wow, am I good enough for that? And it's even stupid that I even have to talk about it, or can ask myself that question, because I don't even need to like consider that once. Hell, I don't even do a second chance at it. It's quite obvious. We concern ourselves with ideas and things that are about the popular. And if you're not understanding what I'm saying here, we always are concerning ourselves with what other people think and what the popular society in life thinks. So if you see a magazine that says, oh my gosh, if you're overweight, you're terribly ugly, and you're whatever it may be, and you're going to hell because of it, how many teenagers would see that and go, oh my gosh, I have to change? Why do you think you have so many problems with younger girls anyways these days because of that? And they always constantly ask themselves, am I good enough? Am I good enough for this? Am I good enough for that man, or am I good enough for that woman, whatever it may be, if you're a guy? A lot of people ask that question. And like I said, I'm here today to tell you that it really does not matter, because to me, you're a human being. You're no different than I am. You're no more special than I am. And you know what? I think everyone is equally as important as the next. It doesn't matter what your status is to me. You're just a person. I judge people based on how I meet, how they treat me, and I try and treat them with the same or more of, just respect. And I think a lot of people just don't do that anymore. I know there's some people out there who, like, that's me. I do that. I'm trying to be nicer to people than what comes in, and it's like one of those golden rules: do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. But sometimes we don't care what others do. We're like, I don't care what he says. I'm gonna do it anyways. And that could be a good attitude, but that could also be a bad attitude, because what you do also affects other people. I've had some people tell me before that I'm just gonna kill myself and it doesn't matter. No one's gonna care. And honestly, you know what? I'm gonna care. Does it matter at all? Does it matter to me? Yeah, it matters a lot to me. If I found out one of my friends was trying to, or wanting to commit suicide, I would be devastated. Just because someone goes and ends their life, that doesn't end the pain for us. That's really selfish and stupid. And we were talking about that today as well. I was telling my mom about how people say that God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle. And I would like to say that I'm pretty sure I just read on someone's Facebook the other day about that's not exactly what it says. It's about the temptations that it gives us. And correct me if I'm wrong, but, if you had your mind in the right set and you knew between right and wrong, you can make a choice. It's up to you to make that choice. But ending your life just because you want to test something, that's not a good idea. And that's actually a very poor and stupid and selfish, because I don't know, it's just some people think that that's going to help, and that only makes things worse. Some people would like to think that death is the end of the line, and that's it. I would like to believe, and I do believe, that there is a heaven for me. I'm not going through this for nothing. I'm not going to go through this life and just, cruise on by and do whatever I want, because, for one, I'm not the kind of person who, if I was to be that way, I would feel really bad. And I don't know if that's just because I've, the conscience that I have or whatever, but I don't know. It's just, I'm not going to let that interfere. I'm not going to let that control me just because I could say, oh, I'm going to do what I want, because it doesn't affect, because it affects everyone. And going back to the subject here, what you say affects somebody greatly. Whether I wake up and tell someone, hey, good morning, how are you doing? Or, wow, today sucks, and you're making it worse. Whatever it may be, that affects people in such a way that it's so hard to understand, really, the bigness of things. Have you ever sat there and thought, this is kind of like just about me real quick, just something I want to ask. Have you ever sat there and thought, what would happen if I went right, or what would happen if I went left? They both end up to the same place, but what happens? Or man, I wonder how my life would be different if I would have went right instead of going left. Even though they went to the same place, could something have been different? Have something could have went wrong there, or something went wrong, and if I went the other way, it could have been right. But we don't know. We always ask that question, and it's the same thing here. What happens when you don't say something to somebody? You see them having a bad day, or you see them having a rough time, and you don't say something. What are you going to do? At what point do you sit there and realize, man, I could have made a difference? Especially when you read in the newspaper sometimes. I know one particular moment where I had found out one of my friends had tried to kill themselves, and I thought, man, I could have done something so much. I could have done something, and I blame myself for, the situation that happened, and then I kind of like made a pact with myself to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And while I was going to school, I had a lot of people come and talk to me about the situations, and they told me I was like a little Dr. Phil, and I thought that was funny because I'd never watched Dr. Phil, and I honestly think that he used to be pretty good with what the patients, or whatever you want to call them, that was on a show, and now I think it's just more for publicity anyways. But I wanted to keep kind of like this secret counselor service at my school when I was going to high school and stuff like that. And it's amazing. You know, some of the stories, you know, you might not think, well, that's not a big deal, but to someone else, it's a really big deal. And one of the most common things that I had heard or people would came to me about was self-worth. You know, am I good enough? Am I, you know, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not worth anything. And you know, I'm here to tell you right now, you are worth so much more to so many people. You might not think it, you know, especially I don't know I don't know how many people are going to be watching this and listening to this or whatever, but I don't know your religious point of view, but in my point of view, there's a God who loves you. And, you know, like I said, whether you're the last person on earth and everyone hated you, there's still one person that loves you, besides me, right? Because, yeah, I love everybody. And that's something I want to say, too. It's hard for me to say that I love everyone because I hear people constantly say, I love you and I love you. And I don't, sometimes I don't like it when people take that word or that phrase lightly. I mean, it's like they say, I love you, but when it comes to boyfriend and girlfriend kind of situation, people just toss that word around like it's nothing, love. And my point of view on love is without it, the world would be lost, just like hope. If we lose hope, the world is lost and people are lost. You know, if you guys don't know, I'm a director for Gaming for Sick Kids. I make videos in hopes that, you know, someday they're going to become a director, and if they partnered with Machinima, that could get them some more money per views, but people donate, and you can go and find out how much people have donated. I think it's like it's either $900 to $1,000 right now through that channel, and that makes a big difference. You know, if I gave up hope on my situation a long time ago with my body and stuff like that, my health, I wouldn't be talking to you guys today, and you guys wouldn't be listening to me. But, you know, I'm sitting here, and even though I'm in like extreme amounts of pain and I'm having shortness of breath and I'm having trouble, I still manage to spit this out at you guys, you know, and it's good. And so I still have hope that someday things will get better. And a lot of those kids and families, now that I'm thinking about it, if they would have given up hope a long time ago, you know, where would they be? And, you know, it's just by grace that people and those kids are still alive. And I know I'm shooting around all over the place, and this is something a little bit different and long, message-wise, as far as what I've normally done. But I hope this is good for you guys. And like I said, I'm going to try and do more of these. But I'm going to kind of conclusion this up real quick before I leave and go do whatever I was going to go do. As part as I consider this a job. It's my job to make sure that you guys hear this stuff. And, you know, I at one point in time, I really didn't know what my purpose was in life to do, and I finally found something that it kind of gave me purpose. And I'd like to say these videos have pretty much changed my life. The way I look at things and the topics I talk about and the messages that I've received from people. You know, it's you guys that hear this, but it's you guys who also change me. You guys pretty much, you know, you make me realize that there are more people out there who feel what I feel, and there are more people out there that understand how I feel and that I'm going through. They might not go through the exact same thing, or they might not have any problems at all, but to them, you know, hearing my voice and hearing my stories and stuff, that's really kind of an eye-opener. And, you know, I think that's really good. And so I would hope that from that I can tell you guys what I think about certain situations and topics, and you guys can get something from that. And like I said, having self-worth is important. A lot of people, especially younger teens, their image, you know, that they put out to other people can be kind of a front, if you can say that, because on the inside usually they've got a lot of problems. They're struggling with what's going on, whether maybe with their body, with their feelings, their friends, and they put on a show so that people don't really know what's going on. You know, the band Red sings a song, And one of the lyrics, if I don't get this completely wrong, it's, you know, it's kind of like your friends are coming, you better put on your face again so that you don't disappoint. You know, and can you think of all the people in the world that if they would just be completely true with themselves and accept that, you know, I don't have to make other people happy in order to live my life. Do you think how different the world would be? I mean, that would be insane. And I think that this world could use something better. And I think people could look at themselves and be a little bit happier about it. And people could find self-worth just a little bit easier. But as far as I see the world going, I really don't see it going very well from here. But I'm not going to give up hope, and I'm going to keep faith high, and I'm going to keep doing these videos. And I hope that someone who is watching this can appreciate this and can get something from it. And I want to know if I kind of got there and this kind of touched your heart. And like I said, I know this is completely different, and I'm gonna bring you guys more of these little topics that are different than what you might see on some other channels. And I don't know, man, it's just something so insane that's been eating at me. You know, I didn't have internet for 3 days, and all I had to do was lay down, think, and watch movies and stuff, and go outside and just think about things. And I think it was a good thing that happened. But man, I was just thinking to myself, something needs to change. So I feel something different inside me growing, and I hunger to talk more to people. And if there's ever a time that you need someone to talk to you about something, a situation, just know that I'm here. You know, I tell my girlfriend that when all else fails and no one else is there, I'll still be here. You know, even if we broke up and I was 1,000 miles away, I'll still be here, and you'll still have a shoulder to cry on, because I'm not the kind of person to just say goodbye and leave and stuff like that, because I don't know, I just was never like that. And that's a good thing. I find that it's really hard to find what I would call a true friend, someone who wouldn't just leave you stranded on a doorstep and just, you know, never come back. And I think that's why I've been able to find so much. And I'm not like kind of trying to brag here or anything, but I've been able to find so much more self-purpose and worth, and I know that I am good enough because of it. You know, I've been able to open up my own eyes, and I think that if people could just be real with themselves and get on a level and realize, you know, it's not about what he or she thinks. It's about what's good for me. It's about what's important to me. That's good. So I don't know. I'm gonna kind of end it off here and pick up later. I know this is gonna be a little bit longer than what I had expected and originally planned for, but I hope you guys enjoyed this little commentary / podcast kind of thing. And if you guys want more, just let me know. And I'm gonna pass this video around, and I hope a lot of people enjoy it for the message and the content that's inside of it. And like I've said before, I apologize that I put up any videos in the past 3-4 days because I had no internet, so I couldn't get anything like that or any footage. But I just hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you guys have a good day. And if you have any questions, comments, or if you'd like me to talk about a particular topic, just let me know, and I'll be glad to do it. Like I said, my name is Casey, and I will see you guys later. Bye.